Good afternoon, my friends. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications so I can be with you forever. I'm going to be leaving my email in the description, so if you want your own tarot reading or an astrology chart reading or anything at all, feel free to hit me up there. And I also offer music production lessons. Just hit me up. We can figure something out. And obviously I have my YouTube membership program and my Patreon below if you want to subscribe to that. And we're going to get right into this reading. So I hope you all enjoyed Leo season. That was pretty much, that entire part was probably the easiest time we're going to have throughout 2020. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news necessarily, but things are only going to get a little bit more difficult as we're going through. But it's also a very good time, especially as we're in Virgo, to really get our shit organized. You know, Virgo is like, I kind of see it as a very cleanliness kind of energy going on here, cleaning shit up in your life, taking the trash out, setting up your schedule, your day-to-day life, what you're planning moving forward. And this is definitely the perfect time to do that, as we do have a Mars retrograde coming up September 9th, which is, funnily enough, made a prediction back in April that once Mars retrograde, that kind of energy started to happen was when Kim Yo-jung, who had a Mars retrograde in her birth chart, was going to start, being more relevant in current times. And as we can see, Kim Jong-un is in the hospital now. Kim Yo-jung is now taking charge. And, people like to think of North Korea as this kind of like offshoot. It's kind of a joke as a country. And, with her coming in, things are going to change. It's not going to be this meme joke country anymore. Things are going to get a little bit more serious, a little bit more real, especially because you have China, who's a big supporter of North Korea. People forget that China is a communist country and they are linked together. They have Politburo meetings together. And Kim Yo-jung is a warmonger. Kim Jong-un is very much, relaxed, chill, is kind of a very progressive person. But now that he's kind of stepping out of his role in leadership, she's going to be a little bit more dangerous. And, keep in mind for that. It's very important. Other than that, this is definitely the perfect time to get stuff organized. I definitely see as fall's progressing, we're going to see a lot more lockdowns. So this is definitely a time for us to prepare a lot more, so that way when this stuff starts to get worse, especially if you're in the northern hemisphere, when winter comes around, illness is just a normal thing. We've kind of thought that, oh yeah, we've taken care of the virus, but we forget it's the middle of summer. Viruses don't spread that easily in summer. Once winter comes around, it's going to be a lot more difficult. So let's get right into this reading here. We're going to start off with the collective here and then get right into everything else, all the other signs here. So what have we got for this season of Virgo for the collective? What are we going to get in a general sense? Just going to shuffle a bit. All right. What have we got here for the collective? All right, so we got two reversals here. We got the King of Pentacles in reversed. So already coming in, we're not feeling like we're living in the world we want to live in. I'm definitely picking up a sense of an illusion or a delusional aspect of the physical world, the material aspects. We don't feel like we're getting the true value of everything in our lives. It's almost like we're seeing things kind of feeling normal, but it's not really there. It's kind of, I don't know what to say about this. It's just kind of meh. That's kind of how I'm feeling about all of this. Is like our material world is kind of meh right now. It's not great. It's not good. And we're not really in line. We don't feel like we have that authority and that sense of direction that we feel like, yes, this is what I want. This is what I have. I have everything that I need in my life. We're kind of feeling like we don't have that sense of self-confidence in ourselves. So this is definitely going to be a theme to look out for finding that inner, resolve, basically, to figure things out, to put together our material life in a more balanced way. And we do have the Five of Swords reversed. This is already a weird card, and I hate whenever I get this card because it seems to happen a lot in readings. I get this card and it's in reverse usually. And when it's upright, it's a lot of like deception. It's a lot of trickery. It's a lot of treating people and going behind their backs and just not being fully honest with other people. And when it's in reversed, the way I kind of see it is there is an aspect where we're not really trusting of other people or trusting the communications with other people. We feel a little bit like everyone's in their own little agenda and they're all scheming against you, or you're scheming against someone. And this is definitely a mindset that's really like tying into this King of Pentacles. Like we feel like we don't have the things that we value or the things that we have that's worthwhile. And then we go on social media and we start stalking our friends or other people that are, dealing with quarantine allegedly very well, right? You see them on social media and they look like they're having the time of their life. And, you're kind of looking at them like with jealousy, or there's this animosity kind of going around, or people want to present themselves like they're okay, everything's fine, and they don't want to deal with the deeper issues. So I'm picking that a lot. But we do have this Two of Pentacles upright. So overall, this at the end here is where we're supposed to be going. And this is balancing things in our lives, balancing our schedule. This is kind of not really a time to focus on big things, I say. This is a lot of dealing with real world situations. And I feel like this month we need to really pay attention to our everyday lives, pay attention to our scheduling, pay attention to balancing our checkbooks, paying rent on time, paying our bills, making sure all of that stuff is organized and put together. And that's ultimately what we need to focus on. And I think these issues are kind of just in the background that are going to be playing out. And, just to go forward with it anyway, go forward, organize your life, find a schedule, find a job, whatever you need to do that, brings stability. I don't think we need to find absolute happiness. I think we should focus more on just getting our shit organized. And, you can't really build happiness if your life isn't organized, right? So I think this is the main takeaway for the collective, at least. Now we're going to get into the individual signs for this month here. So we're going to start with the Virgos, since it is their birth month. And what do we have for those Virgos? They've been getting bashed a lot. They've gotten a lot of devil cards. So they've been dealing with some backwater shit. But now, since the sun is in their sign, maybe things will turn around, but we'll have to see. I don't like to lie about readings or add excessive fluff to them. I like to be as honest as I possibly can be. So what do we have for the Virgos here? What do we have for Virgos? Oh, this popped up here. This Five of Wands. I'm just going to put it in the back burner there. All right. All right, interesting. So you do have Judgment reversed. So there's something you need to do in your life. There's a call to action, especially for Virgos. You definitely know what it is, but you're putting it behind you. This Five of Wands in the background, there is definitely like conflict with other people, not really seeing eye to eye, especially when it's relating to visions and beliefs and just ideas generally. You're not really lining up, and you're kind of bickering with people, and that's kind of throwing you off from your true purpose, or you're feeling like you're not being able to connect with other people or connecting with your true purpose, and you're kind of just ignoring this. With the Judgment reversed, it's like you have this call to action to do something in your life, and you're just not taking it. And again, you have this Three of Cups in reversed here. So again, this is dealing with other people. You're disconnected from other people. You're not really in line emotionally. This is like fire and water here. There's a lot of discord. And, this is definitely the time to take that call to action. And, I think this is coming down to a lot where you feel like you need to be in line with the other people in your life, or you feel like you need to prove something to other people, or the path that you feel like you're called to do is not in line with other people or what other people expect of you. I feel like this is definitely the time to sort of step out of that. And I feel like if you rely too much off other people, you're just going to get into bickering and little arguments and just things that aren't productive for you. I think this is a time, you got the King of Pentacles upright, so the collective was reversed. So you got this as, moving forward, what's the overall guiding principle here? It's the King of Pentacles. Know your self-worth, know what you want, know what you value, and go after it. This is definitely not a time to focus on other people or interconnections and relationships with other people. This is definitely a time to focus on your own shit, focus on what you want, focus on getting there. And you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to find a connection with other people. This is definitely like this card here is definitely like trying to prove yourself, trying to prove that your beliefs are superior to others. And with this reversed, it's like your emotional connections is kind of struggling here. So you have this call to action, and it comes down to your sense of self-worth. It has nothing to do with other people or getting those connections. I think you're going to find difficulty. It doesn't mean you have to get rid of all your friends and stop hanging out with people, but it definitely means that you have to take some time for yourself and take some time to focus on the long-term vision. Anytime you get like a royal pentacle card, like a Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, whatever, it's very long-term oriented. It's very slow moving, and this is the time for where you need to have that authority and command in your life of what you want materially. What kind of house do you want to live in? What kind of money do you want to be making? And this is definitely a time to stop hanging out with people, or just going to useless parties, or getting into arguments with your friends, or I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of stuff dealing with your social dynamics right now, which is not in line with who you are right now. And you need to focus on the material life, which people might say focusing on material aspects in your life is superficial, but it comes down to what kind of life you want to live in while you're on earth, right? And what kind of life do you want to build? What kind of life do you want to lead and create for yourself? It has nothing to do with being superficial. I think people confuse materialism with superficiality, which I don't think equates necessarily the same way. Material world obviously is transitory, but so is everything. So is ideas and ideology. So are emotions. So are connections with other people. It's all transitory anyway. So it doesn't really matter. So, just focus on yourself. That's all I can really say. All right. Let's get on to those Libras, those balance seekers who want to find peace and balance in everything in the world. Temperance, right? That's always with Libras. They're very non-confrontational, especially with other people. So let's get a reading on the Libras here. I like to shuffle a lot for these because I want to make sure that I'm getting a pure reading for you guys, right? Oops. Damn it. Wow, I'm fucking this up. was not a good shuffle there. All right. What have we got for the Libras? All right, we're getting, so far we're getting a lot of reversals. So this is definitely like a lot of self-reflecting, a lot of recontextualizing, even just from the collective and just from the first two signs here. These are all reversed, by the way. So first one, you got the Chariot reversed. So there's something blocking you from moving forward in your life, moving forward in your destiny. And you got the Judgment call reversed. You know, this is definitely a lot of blockages, and that's all I can really say is I might pull some extra cards for Libra here to get through these blockages, but there's definitely something out here blocking you. And the way I'm seeing it, the end of the card here is the Nine of Wands in reversed. So you're definitely feeling like your past experiences have been battering you down, and you feel like you can't move forward, and this is the current situation you're in. And, you know, when it's in reverse, it's time to sort of step out of that mindset. Step out of the mindset that you feel like you're in a state of repetition and repeated negativity, so to speak. Repeated circumstances that are holding you back all the time. And definitely I feel like, you know, with this Chariot reversed, it's like I'm going to pull a card here, both for this Judgment and the Chariot reversed here. So Chariot reversed here, the advice card here is the Eight of Pentacles upright. So again, a lot of what I'm seeing is a lot of advice to get through this stuff is a Pentacles energy. So this card is dealing with your day-to-day work routine, your mastery. This is what this card represents. It represents mastery. It represents developing a skill set. Maybe there's something in your life that you haven't really put the work into of developing a skill, and this is a long-term plan and action-oriented goal to get towards. It's not there's no quick fix here is basically what it is. If you're feeling blocked and you're feeling like you can't move forward in your destiny, you need to take up something new, and you need to be dedicated towards it. It's not just some kind of hobby that you pick up, and this might be even something that you've already been doing over and over again, and you just need to keep going at it. Even though you might be bored of it and you might feel like you're not really getting anywhere with it, just keep going forward and developing your craft, developing your skill set, and you know, you'll be able to move forward at least. But there isn't this charge, there isn't this call to action that you're going to be feeling. It's going to be a lot slower and a lot more progressive, and I think that's going to be frustrating for you. I feel like because you have this Judgment card reversed, you do feel like there is this call to action, but you can't get there. And the call to action is a slow process. It's a slow development. And that's kind of how I'm seeing here for this upcoming season is you need to start developing daily habits and daily practices, so that way you can get towards the call of action. It's not going to be something that you get clarity on overnight. There's definitely a lot of work involved here. I'm going to pull another card here. And yeah, you got this Eight of Cups reversed here. So there is definitely something you're holding on to that you need to let go of, and whether that's romantically, materially, I'm gonna say it has something to do with this, your craft. There's something that's holding you back from being able to pursue your craft and, you know, create a discipline for yourself. And I think you definitely need to work on that. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Just find the craft that, you know, I don't want to say passionate, because passionate can be distorted in meaning, but something that you feel called to do, something that you feel you enjoy doing and you enjoy progressing in. I think that's definitely a skill that you need to go back into if it's something that you've already done, or maybe it's something new. And there's definitely some kind of thing energetically, materially in your life that you need to let go of. This is the Virgo season, time to clear shit out of the closet. That's all I can say. All right. Let's get to those Scorpios. The Scorpios with their dark secrets. It's definitely time for those Scorpios to clean out that fucking closet of dead skulls that they have in their bedroom. You know, they've always got some weird stuff going on in the background. This is always the perfect time for them to start cleaning that shit out. It's enough of that. So what have we got here? For the Scorpios. What have we got? Let's do one more little shuffle here. Okay. All right. So this is interesting. Definitely you're coming in with the Fool card. So there's some aspect in your life where you're just going to have to kind of go with the flow. You don't really know what's going to happen to you. There's definitely this aspect of just going with it in your life. But you do have this Eight of Swords upright. So this is a weird combination here, because with the Fool, it's like you are kind of blind and there's this blissful ignorance in life to move forward and to just try out new things. But you have this Eight of Swords, so you're blindfolded. You don't have foresight. You can't see anything. It's definitely a weird dynamic, because it's like this joyful, optimistic side, and then you have this feeling of fear that's crippling you. And then you have the Hangman reversed on top of that. So there's definitely an aspect in your life that you need to try out. There's definitely something you need to move forward in or do something new. There's definitely a lot of new energy, and there's a lot of what's happening in your mind that's holding you back. And I'm definitely seeing a sense that, you know, with this Hangman reverse, is that you're not actually stuck. It's just all in your mind, of your mind basically holding you back from going on this journey. And you know, whatever that is, whatever that's romantically, career-wise, a creative project, if you're feeling stuck right now, feeling stuck in that realm, ultimately it's your own doing. You're the one holding yourself back. You're the one who's afraid of the unknown. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here, is you just have to kind of have faith in the process and move forward with it. And there is going to be this element that's going to be holding you back because you can't see the future, because you don't know what's happening. And this Hangman reverse is saying it's time to get out of that place of feeling stuck all the time. And yeah, you're just holding yourself back ultimately from moving forward. And I'm going to pull a card here just to see what direction to move towards. And you got the King of Swords. So this definitely has to do with communication. Definitely having the authority to know what you want to say to people, how you want to command your sense of authority with other people. I'm getting a lot of king energy just from the other readings here. And you definitely need to have that authority in your life to communicate with other people, to expect what you want from other people. And I think that's going to help you go along your journey, is just to have that sense of authority ultimately, which is kind of what I've been saying here. But you are going to be feeling held back this season, and you just got to go forward with it. You got to have that sense of authority, that masculine energy, that masculine drive that's going to be like, look, this is what I want. This is what I want you to do. You need to be communicative. So if this is like a romantic situation, you need to tell someone, it's like, look, this is not what I'm into. Or you need to tell them, like, look, if we're going to be dating each other or whatever, like, you need to set boundaries, basically. That's kind of what this is saying. It's kind of having the authority to communicate what you want and not holding yourself back. That I'm definitely seeing, like, you're holding yourself back from communication. And if you're not communicating, you're not going to be able to go on the journey. And that's basically all it is, really. If you're not communicating what you want and you're not having the authority in communication, you're not going to be able to move forward. So I'm going to leave it at that. All right, Sagittariuses, Sagittarii, Sagittarianus, whatever. All right, what have we got here for the Sagittarians? What have we got? dropped a card here. It's the Queen of Pentacles reversed. We'll put that in the back there. All right, here. Sagittarius. Okay, what have we got for Sag? All right. Huh. It's definitely interesting here. So, we got the first card here is the Ten of Cups upright, which is, a very good card. This is ultimate happiness, ultimate joy, ultimate experience here. And you're coming into this feeling very accomplished. There's definitely a new kind of energy that's coming in really quick that's going to make you feel like you're on top of the world. You're experiencing utmost joy. But there is these two cards here, which are kind of reminders that are kind of, that I'm seeing as kind of an overhead. It's just like, yeah, like you're getting these gifts, but, and it's like this Temperance reversed here. Make sure you're imbalanced in your life. Make sure that you're living a life that's, structured and balanced and, well maintained. You're not delving into toxic behaviors, whether that's like a drug addiction, a porn addiction, whatever addiction. You're living a balanced lifestyle, and it's definitely, this reversed is kind of being, it's kind of a warning here, not to fall into excess or fall into any kind of trap here of falling out of balance. And you do have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So I'm going to pull a clarifier for this one because I'm not really understanding this, but you do have the Queen of Pentacles kind of in the background here. So the way I'm seeing it is that there is this aspect that you are coming in here with the sense, it's kind of like that Scorpio reading, where you do have this opportunity for happiness, but there is these kind of external aspects that are going to be holding you back, and you need to watch out for them. And part of it is Temperance and this Wheel of Fortune reversed, which is kind of dealing into this feeling like you're not actually lucky, you're not actually achieving the abundance. And the way I'm seeing it is this Queen of Pentacles is kind of in the background. It's like, do you really know your worth? Do you really feel like you deserve this? And I think that's what this card is saying. It's like you almost feel like you don't deserve any of this. And if you get caught up in those traps of feeling like you don't deserve something, you're not going to be achieving the fortune, and I think that's going to be a difficulty. I'm going to pull a clarifier up just for this, and yeah, the King of Pentacles reversed, so it's the same shit, right? You don't feel like you deserve it, you don't feel like you're able to attain it, and those are going to be the things that are going to hold you back, and you just need to watch out for them, and especially don't get caught up in drugs or alcohol. I'm definitely sensing that's a very important thing. You got to keep your eye out for that. And with Virgo, this is definitely the time to purify yourself, to purify your mind and body and soul and all that crap. And you will get this 10 of Cups if you just move forward with it, and not be afraid and not fall into bad habits from your past. Wheel of Fortune reversed, it's definitely going back to the past. All habits that you've had that haven't been cleared up, you need to get through that. And yeah, just know your sense of self-worth. This is definitely these two cards here. What I'm seeing here, and it's like, it's funny because it's like, this is already the clarifier, and it's like, oh, maybe I'll pull up another one, and it's like the King of Pentacles, which is, yeah, it's like different, but it's, it's the same thing. It's the same message here, which is know your sense of self-worth. Don't get into traps of feeling like you don't deserve anything, because obviously you can't just say that. Whatever you deserve is what you deserve in your life. If you feel like you don't deserve it, you're not going to get it, basically. That's the ultimate lesson here. So move forward with that, and we'll get through this. All right, Capricorns. Let's see what we got for the Capricorns, the Capricornians, the Capricornicus. And within this season, in this 2020 in general, you'll notice that a lot of the world leaders or the people in power or attaining power, they're all air signs and they're all Capricorns. Like Jeff Bezos, Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump, Kim Yo-jong included, Kanye West. They're all Geminis or Capricorns, or some of Vladimir Putin's a Libra, I believe, and I think also Xi Jinping. I forget if he's a Gemini or Libra, but I know he's an air sign. So there's definitely a lot of those signs that are getting a lot of karmic return kind of shit going on. It's weird, especially for those signs, especially because we have all these planets in Capricorn right now, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. So there's a lot of crazy shit going on. And once Jupiter, I'll just do a little bit of astrology for you while I'm shuffling here. Once Jupiter crosses over Pluto in September, because right now Jupiter, first of all, passed Pluto back in spring, so we already felt that energy, that shift of abundance and where we find fortune in the Capricornian kind of energy, and then it went back. So then we went back to the Sagittarius Jupiter Pluto conjunction, which was very much like, if you think of how everything was from 2008 until now, it's been a lot of about adventure and exploration and, you know, attaining the biggest things in life. Like, if you want to think about it, it's like Fire Festival. It's this great big belief of whatever, and then it ends up being bullshit. It's not always bullshit, but that's kind of a very Pluto, Jupiter, and Sagittarius kind of thing. This Fire Festival is like the epitome of that kind of shit, because I just watched that documentary recently, and you're noticing since the Jupiter-Pluto, the second conjunction, when Jupiter retrograded behind it, look at the stock market. It's going crazy for no reason. It's overly optimistic. And once Jupiter crosses over Pluto back into that Capricorn energy, it's going to be a fucking reality check. And I'm warning people now, September 12th, I think, is when Jupiter goes direct. And then it conjuncts again in either October or November. So in that time period, just be prepared for when shit hits the fan, because it's going to. And it's going to hurt. And you don't need to be a financial expert to realize that the economy is not great, even though the stock market says it is. We have to be realistic about that shit. So, let's get back to this reading here. For Capricorns, what have we got for the Capricorns? Okay, shuffled enough for you guys. All right. So, the first card here is the Eight of Cups in reversed. You definitely need to walk away from something. There's something weird going on here, because you do have this Five of Pentacles upright. So there's definitely this poverty mindset, feeling like you're just in a squalor, like you can't get the riches you want. And part of this comes from needing to let go of something. And once you let go of it, you have the Chariot card at the end here. So you'll be able to move forward and push forward in your life into a new direction that's ultimately, you know, to your best destiny. I was like having a brain fart for a second there. But yeah, there is definitely this aspect that you're going to be feeling very impoverished, feeling like you're not getting what you want. And this season, it's a lot of pentacles. It's a lot of earth energies. Virgo is an earth sign, but in general, just there is this aspect of needing to find that sense of self-worth. And part of this is letting go of something in your life. I'm going to pull up a clarifier here. What do you need to let go of? And it's the Page of Cups. So you're not being honest emotionally. There is something in your life where you're not being honest either with yourself or with another person in your life, and you're not expressing your emotions properly. And this is definitely the card that's saying you need to express yourself. If you're feeling dissatisfied with something, or you're even if you're in love with someone, or you're in a relationship that's shitty and you need to get out of it, you need to express that. Otherwise, you're going to be trapped in this poverty mindset, feeling like you're not getting enough, feeling like you're trapped here. But once you express that, once you express what you need to express, once you get rid of that emotional baggage, that's been holding you back, you'll be able to move forward. And I think this is the aspect where, because Capricorns are very stoic, they don't like to express themselves, they don't like to show that they have any emotion, and I think this is going to be very difficult for Capricorns to express that emotion, because they need to do that if they want to move forward in their lives. Otherwise, they're just going to be trapped, wandering around like a little homeless old lady there with the rag, and Timmy with his broken leg there, and no one wants that. So if you want to move forward, you need to express yourself, and that's all I can really say. If you're not being honest emotionally, and part of this does have from not wanting to let go of something or not wanting to walk away, and you're holding on to something here, and this could even come in the form of an opposite term. It's like you feel like you need to walk away from something, even though you can stay with it, just so long as you do express yourself and you do remain open with your emotions. And if you're not honest and you're not emotional, then you're going to feel like, oh, I just need to walk away, this is not right for me. You're going to be all moody and go off to your dungeon, the Capricorn dungeon, and just be moody all day. It's not going to help anyone. It's not going to help yourself either. You're not going to feel happier. You're just going to feel poor and homeless and miserable. So if you want to get to where you want to go and you do want to move forward, this is the time for where you need to really be open about your emotions and emotional expressions, so to speak. All right, Aquarians, Aquarii. Let's see what we got here for this month of Virgo. What have we got here? What have we got for the Aquarius people? Oh, we got another one of these in the background. Queen of Cups, reversed. Another card here. I'm getting a lot of cards popping up here. I'm just going to put these in the back. I don't really like to have a lot of these, but you do have the Ten of Pentacles reversed here, so keep that in mind. All right, here we go. Definitely a lot of self-reflection. Here. Definitely not feeling in your sense of self-worth, because you do have this Hermit card. So you definitely need to retreat and get back in touch with yourself. This is definitely a lot of introverted energy, just in the general collective, as well as Aquarians. You need to find a retreat, and you need to take a break from other people, because ultimately you do have this Ace of Cups reversed and the Six of Wands reversed. So with these, there is a lot of blockages here, especially emotionally, and especially with the Six of Wands is representing outward fame, recognition, being honored. And when you got these in reversed, it's definitely not the time to focus on those kinds of things, focusing on emotional satisfaction necessarily, or being honored and gratified and appreciated by other people. This is the time to focus on yourself. And I think if you can find the honor within yourself, you'll be able to move forward from that. Because the Ace of Cups reverse is definitely, there is a blockage of emotional understanding and emotional revelation, so to speak. And you do have these two cards in the background that I pulled, which was the Ten of Pentacles reversed and the Queen of Cups reversed. And with the Queen of Cups reversed, there is definitely this lack of ability to understand your emotions. And I feel like with this Hermit, it's really coming down to your emotional output and your emotional understanding of yourself and other people as well, obviously. And it's a very confusing read. I think this is definitely a time to really get in touch with yourself emotionally, just on a subconscious level. I'm definitely seeing a sense of therapy as being needed, because you're going to be blocked from your own sense of self, and you're going to feel the need to recluse and become a hermit basically in this upcoming season. And it's definitely that time to self-reflect a lot about your emotions and how you express your emotions in your romantic life and your emotional connections with other people as well, because you do have that Ten of Pentacles reversed. So you're definitely not feeling like the world you want to live in is here. You know, the Ten of Pentacles upright, it's like this is the world you want to live in. It's the ultimate world, right? It's like the Ten of Cups is the ultimate emotional fulfillment. The Ten of Cups, or the Ten of Pentacles, is the ultimate material, living. And with it reversed, it's like you don't have this, and it's you need to reimagine your emotional connection to that world, to that material world. And maybe this comes down to if you experienced or lived in a material world that you're living in right now that you thought was going to be everything you thought it was going to be, but it actually isn't. And that's kind of what the Six of Wands reversed too is. It's like you're receiving a lot of honors and praise, or you're receiving a lot of things in the world that are you thought were really good. You thought initially that they were what you wanted in life, but you realize it's like, this is not what I want. This is not what's happening for me. This is not bringing me any kind of happiness or joy. And you're ultimately needing to recluse and refigure that out. Finding that emotional understanding, that emotional clarity to find what you want in life, to find what's really going to make you feel honored and appreciated in the world. Because I think that there is an aspect where you've gotten the things you wanted, or you've set out to do something and you got what you wanted, but it wasn't really what you wanted. And I think this is definitely the month where you're going to need to take a step back and refigure things out and be like, okay, what do I really want? What do I really need to do? What is my emotional connection here? Because you're not, the material world isn't lining up with your emotions. On the surface, everything looks good, but ultimately you're not feeling happy and satisfied with the world you're living in. So I wish you the best in trying to figure that out, because I think this is definitely going to be the month where you need to figure out what you really want on an emotional level, not just materially. Like, you can't just be sitting around and like, I want $10,000 a month, because that was what you did before, arguably, and it didn't get what you really wanted. You need to have that emotional connection as well. What is the feeling you want in the world? What do you want to feel in life? I think that's ultimately what you really need to take time out of your life to reflect upon, is what do you want to feel in your life. It's not so much about the material world, it's more about the emotional aspects. So I'm going to leave it at that. Alright, Pisces, fucking fishes, what do we got for you this month? What have we got for those Pisces? What have we got for the Pisces? Alright, Pisces. That's what we got for you. Alright, so you got the Three of Swords upright. So this is heartbreak. This is something gnawing at your heart and making you feel like shit. And it's ultimately, this card, when it's upright, it doesn't I don't get this card often when I do readings. It's a kind of a rare kind of thing that happens, but there is definitely heartbreak or something gnawing at you that's, coming in here that's not going to make you be feeling great. But you do have this Chariot upright here. So you definitely need to go through this pain. Whatever this pain is that's bringing it to you, you need to experience it in order to move forward in your life. That's ultimately what this is saying. And, there's not really much else to say about these two cards here. Is whether this, you can say that this is about romance. A lot of people like to equate the Three of Swords specifically with love or heartbreak or breaking up, but it could be with anything. It's like, You know, if you're talking to your parent and your parent like disowns you or yells at you, that's heartbreak. It hurts. Or if someone just insults you online or something like that, there is this element where you're feeling broken and you're feeling hurt. Your heart is hurt. Your passion and life and love and whatever is hurt. And this is just, the way I'm seeing it is just part of the process. And I think this is more, you have to kind of accept this pain in order to move forward, in order to really strive in your life. And you do have this King of Pentacles reverse, which has been popping up a lot. And the way I see it is getting back in touch with your sense of self-worth. I think there is definitely going to be this aspect of you're going to be hurt from this. And then once you're hurt, you're able to move forward. And then you need to really pay attention to your sense of self-worth and having authority in what you want in life. And that's going to be an aspect that's going to be playing into this chariot of moving forward, of commanding your life, basically. I'm going to pull up another card here of what to expect from this Three of Swords kind of energy. And you got the Hermit card upright. So there's something to do with you feeling isolated, which is breaking you down. And the way I see it is you kind of... The Pisces are going through a lot of weird shit, especially as Neptune's in their sign. And, you know, there's definitely an aspect of you feeling hurt because you're so isolated, because you're so disconnected from everyone, that this is kind of a calling card. How do we call it? It's just... there's a specific word I'm looking for here. It's just the process you need to go through in order to move forward in. And I think that Pisces are having a difficult time being alone, and it's causing a lot of heartbreak and a lot of heart-related issues of feeling pain in that area. And this disassociation, this disconnection from other people is going to bring pain. But ultimately, it's leading you to be able to move forward in your life and leading you to ultimately know what you truly want inside. And even though this is reverse, this is definitely like a time to really focus upon that. And this ability to sort of be a recluse is going to give you the understanding and the ability to figure out what you really want in this world. And, you know, maybe the stuff that you think you want in this world isn't really what you want. It's ultimately kind of up to you to take this time to deal with the heartbreak, because ultimately if you're going after things that you don't want, that aren't actually good for you, and you think you want them, they're just going to leave you with more pain. And this pain is going to be teaching you to really focus upon what you really want in the world. And then once you do that, you're able to move forward. And that's all I can really say. All right. Getting on to Aries. So Aries we're going to get some weird shit going on, especially as this Chiron and Mars retrograde in this sign with Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter squaring everything. So there's a lot of pressure. And there's a lot of wounds with Aries right now that they're going to have to deal with. Although with Chiron, it kind of affects everyone. But especially as you're having a Mars retrograde in your sign, there's definitely a lot to do with your identity, reimagining your sense of identity. And I'll just say this Mars retrograde is happening on... Hold on, I'm going to double check here real quick. If I go to September 9th... because that's when the retrograde starts. Okay, I was wrong. But it's going to happen on 9/9. So 9, ultimately in not alchemy, but like numerology, traditional numerology, real numerology from like Vedic numerology, is associated with Mars. So since we're having a Mars retrograde on 9/9, it's kind of like it's a big numerological aspect that's going to be pushing us into re-identifying everything in our lives, especially as Chiron's here. This is not going to happen for a while, especially as Saturn's squaring all this. So there's definitely going to be a lot of pressure into re-identifying ourselves, re-identifying our passions and our wants and our drives. And this is definitely affecting Aries a lot, because that's your sign, right? Your sign is the identification. It's the striving forward. It's the warrior sign, right? So definitely going to be a lot of reimaginings, and we can already see it. Once Mars actually entered into Aries back a few months ago, we were already seeing some weird shifts in especially masculine energy. It's going to be affecting a lot of men specifically, or just masculine oriented people. We saw like Elon Musk was having issues with Grimes, and we saw Kanye West having issues with Kim Kardashian, and there was a lot of weird dynamics of especially men trying to be these warriors and trying to present themselves, and then them kind of just being like smacked in the face or kind of put down or being emasculated. And there's definitely going to be a theme that's going to be coming up, especially as we're entering into this retrograde. So be prepared for that. Be prepared to feel your sense of pride and your sense of masculinity and your sense of passions kind of just fall down and kind of be emasculated. Just kind of, like you're not really as macho as you thought you were, basically, right? And this is definitely going to be that month where you're going to be feeling that, and just to be prepared. So what have we got here for the Aries people? All right, so we're getting into this Two of Wands upright up at the beginning here. So the way I'm seeing this is definitely like it's a lot of long-term planning, figuring out where you want to go. It's ultimately it's the voyage card, right? You're planning out your destination. You're planning out your voyage. And you do have the Knight of Wands here, so you're definitely striving forward in your beliefs here. You definitely have a vision that you want to go forward in. And the way I see it is like this is definitely the month where you need to start planning your shit out and going forward with it. But you do have this Death card reversed at the end here. So there is something in your life that even though you want to move forward into this life, there's some background shit that you're not dealing with. There's something inside of you that needs to die. There's this old wound that needs healing. It needs transformation. And you're going to be having a lot of difficulties dealing with this because you have this destination, this voyage, this belief, this vision you have that you want to strive forward in, and you want to go forward with that. But there's this garbage that you have in the background that you're not dealing with. And you definitely need to deal with that because, with death, it's transformation. It's, letting the die and letting the new be born again. And if you're just holding on to that stuff, thinking that you can just ignore it and just move forward in this other vision, you're going to find that these two cards here, this vision, this voyage that you're trying to plan out for your life is not going to come to fruition because you still have all this shitty baggage that you're not letting go of. And that's not helpful for anybody. And ultimately you need to deal with that crap because it's just going to be holding you back. And so that's basically it. I'm going to pull up a card here for this Death card reverse, what to expect, what kind of energy is holding you back that you're not letting go of. And it's the Ace of Wands reversed. So there's a lot of fire here. There's an idea, there's a passion project or something in your life dealing with a passion project or something you're passionate about that you've thought about that you don't want in your life, or there's something there that you're ignoring out of convenience for this new project, this new development, this new voyage, and you kind of have this old thing in the background that you're just kind of ignoring. And you might need to try out a new project and try out a new vision for yourself, but there is this old thing that you worked on, or this old vision, and you're just kind of letting it drift aside, and you're not really dealing with it. You're not really confronting this old vision and idea or this quest that you've had for yourself. And this is definitely a time to either let go of it or to reimagine it, reinvigorate it in some way so you can move forward. Or it's definitely something, there's this old project in your life, this old vision, this old belief, something in your life dealing with fire, with wand, whatever, that you need to reinvestigate. So that's what I'm picking up here. All right. Gonna go with the Tauruses, the bulls. So someone in the chat room was just asking about Tauruses. Well, here we are. We're at you right now. This is for you, Vlad. So what do we got here for the Tauruses, those big bulls? What do we got for the bulls? Definitely have Uranus in here causing up a shitstorm. Uranus went retrograde and now it's just kind of trotting along backwards into re-understanding communities and especially communities dealing on a worldly level, especially with values and understandings of things, because everyone's not really linking up in terms of values and what we want in terms of values, right? Because Uranus is in there. So there's a lot of chaos and unpredictability. Everyone wants different things. So what have we got here for for the Tauruses, for those Tauruses? All right. So this is the first reading where everything's upright. So definitely there's going to be a lot more action-oriented goals for Taurus, especially because we're in Virgo, so it's definitely a lot more beneficial to the earth signs, I would say. But you're coming in here, this Eight of Cups upright. There's definitely some kind of thing in your life you need to walk away from, moving forward. Whenever it's reversed, there's definitely something you're pretending that isn't there that you need to walk away from, or you're ignoring a process of walking away from something. With it upright, it's, you've already dealt with it. You're moving forward, you're sad and whatever. But you do have this Nine of Wands upright too. And this is also a weird aspect to have with this, because you're leaving this situation, but you're not leaving in a state that is beneficial. You're not coming into any kind of optimism here. You're very cynical. This is definitely a card dealing with a lot of cynicism. You're looking around in the world and you're dealing with a lot of the shit you've been dealing with, and you're just kind of like, oh, fuck this again. And you have these expectations of things are going to be repetitive again. Whatever the situation that you're walking out of is, you're feeling like it's going to just happen again and again, and you're in this endless state, this endless cycle, so to speak. But you do have the Queen of Swords upright. So there's definitely this clarity that you need to tap into, this understanding and this acceptance of the world. Because the Queen of Swords here is very cold, it's very calculative, but it understands things on an objective level. This is definitely not the time to hold idealistic or emotional connections to anything. This is definitely the time to really see things objectively, see things as they are, and accept them. And you'll be able to move forward into your life. And I think that's ultimately what this reading is. There's definitely a lot of more forward momentum with Tauruses, even though they are feeling a little bit blocked here with this Nine of Wands upright. But it's definitely the time to take a step out of emotional or visionary aspects and just focus things objectively, see things objectively, rather. And you'll be able to find more peace, I would say. And you won't let the outside world affect you as much if you just see things as they are and not get too caught up into the mundanity of life or the chaos of life. Because I think Tauruses are definitely going through a lot of feeling like a lot of instability with Uranus in here. It's like it's causing a lot of feelings like you're not getting the value you want, you're not living in the world you want, you're going from one place to the other, you're not finding that stable ground, because Uranus is there and it's causing a lot of shitstorm. So it's time to just take a step out of it and just see everything as it is and just accept it. And I think that's definitely what is going to help you deal with any kind of issues you might be dealing with this coming season. Is definitely take this time to practice mindfulness and all that crap, and just seeing things rationally, seeing things objectively. And I think that's ultimately what we need to do for those Tauruses. All right, next up here is we've got the Geminis, those pesky little twins. What have we got here for the Geminis? A lot of crazy Gemini shit going on in the world. So what have we got for them, for those boys? What have we got for the Geminis? What have we got? Shuffle a few more times. Okay, here we go. So you're definitely coming in. You feel betrayed. This is definitely the betrayal card. But you know, whenever you're with swords, it's always in the mind, right? So it's definitely important to keep that in mind. Is that when you have the Ten of Swords, is that you do have this sense of understanding in the world that is dealing with the mind, that you feel betrayed, and you feel like you're stuck, and you got knives in your back, basically holding you back from going anywhere. And you got the Nine of Cups reversed, so this emotional gratification isn't there. You're not feeling emotionally gratified. You're feeling stuck in that place. And the way I'm seeing it here, you have the Hierophant at the end card here. So the way I see it is, with this card, it's like you need to find a religion. You need to find a system of belief. And you know, people like to hate a lot on religion and religious ideas and beliefs and religious systems because it's it's very patriarchal, and it's very, you got to follow it by this way, and you got to do this and that, and people don't like that. They like to be free and explore things. And the reason why we do these things in religions is because it creates a system for yourself. It creates patterns, it creates repetitions, it creates a routine that you develop and you cultivate within religion, and you end up discovering new things when you commit yourself to a system. And I think that's what ultimately you need to do to get this gratification. You're not feeling gratified, is to commit to a system, to a long-term system in your life. It doesn't have to be a religion necessarily, but it has to be an aspect of your day-to-day life that you commit to. It has to be religious in that sense. It has to be something that you're committed to. And I think that's ultimately what you feel betrayed from, is there is an aspect that you committed to, or there's a person in your life that you were committed to, or you thought they were committed at least, and they betrayed you in some way or fashion, or maybe you betrayed yourself in a way. And I think this is the time to reimagine and get back in touch with a system where you can find that structure and you can find that repetitive action to be able to create an emotional gratification. Way I can see it for myself even is, I've recently got more in touch with Judaism and getting back in touch with my religious roots. And I've started keeping the Sabbath, turning off the internet, doing all that shit, refraining from work. And it's like the first time I did it, I didn't really get anything out of it. And, but I kept going with it, and I kept doing it every week. I would keep doing it. And now every week I get a little bit more out of it. I get a little bit more out of it whenever the Sabbath ends, and I feel a little bit more in touch with who I am, and understanding who I am, and understanding the religion most importantly. And I think that's what's important about these systems, is that it's a long-term commitment. And once you commit to it and you do it for a long enough time, you do see the benefits, you do see the gratification that you're looking for. And I think that's ultimately what Geminis need to focus on. And I think, especially with a lot of Geminis that I notice, they like to go from here to there, and they like to try out different things, and they're very quick, and they're very, they like to try out a lot of different things. But this is definitely the time to commit to something that you truly believe in, truly are passionate about, truly something that will give you that structure. And I think that's important. I'll leave it at that, and just find something to commit to, really, and commit to a system that will, over time, bring about that emotional gratification that you're looking for, because it's ultimately not something that's going to happen overnight, right? It's something that you have to commit to. Okay, so let's get to those Cancers, those emotional crybabies. What have we got for the Cancers for this month of Virgo? Virgo. What have we got here for the Virgos? Couple more little shuffles here. Whew, that's a lot. That's a lot of powerful cards here. Cancers are getting smorgasbord here, so it's definitely going to be an intense month for Cancers. I'll just start off here. We got the World card upright. So there is definitely something coming to fruition, coming to completion. There's definitely a cycle that you've been living in your life that you are coming to a close now. This is a lot of endings and a lot of new beginnings here because you have the Chariot right after that. So definitely there's something coming to an end and something new taking off that you're going to go forward in. But you do have this Devil card upright. So there is this attachment thing that's going on here, especially with this new vision that you're going to. There is an obsessive quality to it. There is, I would just be careful. Whatever Cancers are doing in their lives to move forward in their lives, there is a demonic aspect to it. And I don't want to say demonic like it's absolutely evil. I think people don't understand the Devil card that well when they say things like that. It's an aspect of attachment. It's an aspect of obsessing over something. It is an aspect that it is negative, but ultimately the people there are there on their own volition. It's a choice that you're making. It's a choice that you're making to become attached to something, or you're signing a contract, because this is a lot of big energy for Cancers, and you're going down a road that is based in an attachment. It's based in a contract. I'm getting like a contract kind of vibe, like you're selling your soul to the devil or something like that. And I think that, there is a lot of energy moving forward here, and it's like a rocket ship going off, but you need to be careful of what you're sacrificing for this thing that you're going for. I'm going to pull up a clarifier here let me think here. What are you going forward in? Let's just say, like, if what you're going in towards is to your ultimate benefit, and what is it looking like here? So you got the Three of Cups in reversed. So yeah, the way I see this is there is definitely an aspect here that's taking it away from connections with other people. Definitely a lot of aspects that are disconnecting from the emotional connections with other people. This definitely has to do with you and your own personal goals and your own personal passions that you're striving towards, in whether this is career, romance, whatever. There is a contract here. I don't know. There is something here that's kind of like you've already taken it. You're already going on that path, and there is an aspect here to just be careful. I'm pulling up another card here because it's intense here. What kind of guidance? What should you focus on to protect yourself or to be guided properly? And you do have the Magician reversed here. So I think this is definitely saying don't get too cocky with your skill set. That's what I'm kind of picking up here, is don't get too cocky. Don't think too highly of yourself. If you're going into something where you're truly valued for who you are and what you can do, definitely don't be too cocky about it, and don't brag about it, or don't show off. Basically, I'm getting a lot of aspects of not to show off. Be humble. Proceed humbly, because there is an aspect here that you're signing a new contract. You're signing a new path in your life. It's like a rocket ship going off, because this old world that you've been living in is coming to a completion, and you're setting off to a new adventure. And just don't get too cocky with this new development in your life. Interesting read. I don't think this necessarily applies to every Cancer, because it's it's an extreme reading, but definitely something to keep in mind. There's definitely some crazy Cancer energy I'm picking up here for Virgo season for some reason. All right, we're getting to the last sign here for Leos. Best for last, right? Fucking Leos. Always getting the center of attention here. All right, Leos, what do we got for you? What have we got for those Leos? Leos. Okay. So, overall here, you got the Six of Wands upright. So you're not feeling honored or you're not feeling celebrated as you would want to be. There's definitely an aspect. I mean, it's fucking Leos. They love to be celebrated and loved and cherished and admired by everyone. And you're definitely not feeling that. You're not feeling that sense of Leo pride, especially from other people. And you do have the Three of Cups in reversed here. So there's definitely a lot of disconnection. This card's been popping up a lot in readings this time. So there's definitely a lot of disconnections from other people. And a lot of feeling like you're not connected emotionally with other people, and you don't have that tribe mentality. You're not getting that honor that you want, that kingship that you want. And there's a lot of blockages here, but you have the ultimate advice here is the Queen of Pentacles upright. So this is definitely about knowing your sense of self-worth. You don't need other people. You don't need other people to give you love in order for you to love yourself. And I think that's a problem with Leos, is they expect to be admired from everyone, and they forget to admire themselves as they are instead of relying off other people all the time. This is definitely a theme for everyone, but I think this is definitely hitting it on the nail for Leos, is that they need to be more in line with their sense of self-worth and understanding themselves and appreciating who they are and having gratitude for who they are, because this is Queen of Pentacles. It's dealing with the world. It's dealing with your material possessions ultimately. So, appreciating everything you have in your life, knowing what you want, and just having that sense of gratitude. And I think these kinds of issues that you're having, especially with other people and not feeling connected and not feeling admired and loved the way you want to, is ultimately not what you should be focusing on. You should be focusing on gratitude. I think this is definitely going to be a humbling month for Leos, and I think this is very good for Leos to find their own sense of gratitude, find their own sense of honor for themselves, not rely off other people. And I think they've been relying too much of other people lately in order to find their own happiness, and this is the time for them to take a step back and really appreciate who they are and be grateful for that. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next month for Libra season. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe as well, and I will see you next time. Peace.